What's up, guys? It's Mike here, and I'm doing a video today that I'm really frustrated that I have to make because it means that I've done a horrible job as a creator here on YouTube. The entire point of my channel has been to show what it's like for somebody like me with no college education and no great high-paying job and no advantage and silver spoon to go from being a nobody with zero rental properties and zero investment properties and zero real estate to hopefully becoming like Grant Cardone or Graham Stephan or Meet Kevin or these guys who have a lot of multifamily units, right? Usually here on YouTube, we see the finished product, right? We see the guy when they're at the very end and they've got all the success and they have all the property and they have all the money, and then they're going to go ahead and tell you, hey, this is how you do it, right? And you sit there and you say to yourself, is that really how they did it? Was it that easy? Because they make it sound pretty easy. You know, what all went into it? And so I wanted to document the real-time journey and experience of what it takes to go from being somebody who doesn't have anything to getting to that. And I'm a long way from that, but you know, I'm on my way. Unfortunately, I did an interview recently. Well, it was about a year and a half ago. I interviewed Michael Zuber. He has a YouTube channel, One Rental at a Time. I highly recommend you watch his YouTube channel. He's my favorite real estate investor YouTube channel on YouTube because he's just the best overall, best information. I interviewed him, and you know, the interview still gets people watching it to this day. And you know, I'm not any great YouTuber or anything like that, but someone commented just a couple days ago, and the comment really frustrated me because it struck a chord. Let me read it to you. One thing I have not heard Michael Zuber mention in his interviews is how much money he had to start his mission of buying rental properties. He does mention a high-earning job, which leads me to think he had the money to start buying rental properties. Yeah, so Michael Zuber did have a really good sales job. He was selling and making several $100,000s a year, and he openly acknowledges and talks about this and how his priority was to go out there and secure capital money to buy more rental properties at the beginning before he could retire and just live off the passive income. But this individual says that. So I explained to him what I just said to you. And then he comes back and he says two more comments. He goes, I do give credit to Michael and others who at a young age sacrificed to get a higher education in order to earn as high wages as they possibly could, which makes buying rentals easier. Unfortunately, people like you and Zuber make these informational YouTube videos about the process of buying rental properties, and you make it look so easy. Yeah, it's easier the more money you make. But we know that the average person who watches these videos doesn't earn nowhere near what Zuber earned when he started buying rental properties. That's the comment that he left. That me and Michael Zuber and others like us make it look easy and easier. Essentially, me, Millennial Mike, you're false advertising, bro. You're lying. You're trying to give people false hope. That's what I'm reading right there. Well, I left him a lengthy response, but I want to respond here too. So Manuel Felix, the guy who left this comment, first and foremost, man, I'm not angry at you. I'm not here to just like rip you a new one. But I want to explain to you very precisely the advantage that I've had in my life. So, you know, I can't speak for Michael Zuber. You know, good for him for having a college education. Good for him for making a high-paying job. And good for him for trying to reach out and give back, right? I mean, that's what he's doing. If you go watch his channel, that's what he's doing. He's trying to give back. That's what I want to do. So, you know, I graduated high school the year the recession hit in 2008. I had to move from Washington, where I live now, to North Dakota to get a job. Worked 6 months at a crappy job in the freezing cold, then moved back home here to Washington because finally a job became available. Minimum wage, of course. A labor job. I worked in a granite shop covered in dust. I was very accustomed to the N95 mask as I wore it every single day, long before we had the pandemic of 2020. I worked long hours. I worked 3 jobs. Not only did I work at the granite shop, I refereed soccer on the side, and on Saturdays I drove down to Bellevue, Washington, and I assisted at a Job Corps place, helping people write resumes to help them get a job. I did that for years. For 6 years I worked at that construction company and never got ahead. Never had more than $1,000 in my bank account at any time. I drove crappy beater cars. I'm on my 3rd Geo. I want you to just humor me and Google Geo Metro, okay? That nasty little burnt rust hatchback car. I'm on my third one. Third, right? Since being an adult, 18 to 29, I've had 3 of them. They both have the check engine light on them. They're busted up. They're gross. No girl would ever even think twice about looking at me driving that thing around. Back to my privilege I grew up with. Excuse me, I get a little deterred there by the cars I drive. No college education, crappy job. When I finally switched over to the blue-collar job I work now in law enforcement, I took a pay cut from $60,000 a year because I'd worked my way up to $60K a year because I made sure I was the go-to employee, the linchpin employee. If they needed something done, I'd come in early and stay late. And they respected that. And I worked myself half to death, but I was able to get to 60 grand a year and then take a pay cut because I wanted to do something different and have more potential to move upward. I became a law enforcement trainee, right, making $48,000 a year for that first year. And then I finally got commissioned as an officer. Finally was able to make 60K again. But instead, I've made over 100,000. Why? Because I work an ungodly amount of overtime. This month, the month of April 2020, my goal was not to have one single day off. Just because I wanted to make a video that said I didn't take a single day off during the pandemic of 2020 in the midst of the corona panic and blah, blah, just for whatever. But you know what? I'm going to blow that all right now and say, hey man, I work my freaking butt off on a daily, I mean, I do 70, 80 hours a week all the time. And then you know what I do with that money? I don't spend it. It goes to the bank and it sits there just for me to look at. I don't have nice cars. I don't go out to eat. I don't go to lavish places. I don't go on vacations. I don't take trips. It sits in my bank account so that I can buy real estate. Manuel, when you write that comment, all I hear and all I read is, I can't do it because I'm telling myself I can't do it. And I have to now tell other people, including me, by commenting on this video, it can't be done. I can't do it, therefore it can't be done. Michael Zuber, he had a benefit. He had an advantage. He had a silver spoon in his mouth. It was easier for him. He had this privilege, or he had that privilege, or he had something that I don't get. Bro, you're lying to yourself. You and society or Hollywood or even your own negative thoughts are bringing you down and telling you you can't do it, man. You just can't. The rich are putting down the poor. They've got you under their thumb. It's not your fault. It's just the way society's set up. So let the government take care of you or let someone else take care of you because we know you sure as heck can't take care of yourself. Bro, stop listening to that. What? Why? How could you ever listen to that message, man? How could you ever listen to that message? You don't need any advantage in this country at all except for one, and that's being in this country. If you're here and you're working, you can make it, bro. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Walmart. I worked as a manual laborer. I worked as another manual laborer and another manual laborer, man. Come on. It sucks, dude. I didn't go to college. I saved myself all the debt. I don't have a lawyer, engineer, or doctorate degree, nothing like that. And yet I'm still able to save a huge amount of my income because I don't buy stupid stuff. I save my money to invest in real estate. The point of my channel, the point at which it's my fault that it hasn't been coming across right? I'll own that. The point of my channel, my friend, that I'm trying to get to you, that I want you to hear, is that I genuinely, sincerely want to help people like you. I believe in you because if I don't believe in you, then how can I believe in myself? Because you and me, we probably have a whole heck of a lot more in common than me and Michael Zuber. And I like Mike. But you and me, man, I'm the son of an illegal immigrant. I'd never met my dad. I grew up 6 kids from 3 different dads in a house that had prostitution and drugs, and people went to jail, and crime was in the house, and there was domestic violence, and my mom's boyfriends would come and beat the crap out of us. Like, bro, whatever excuse you have, I was evicted as a kid. You know, we had to choose which meal we would eat. I qualified for every government assistance program that was ever invented and known by man. Free food, free lunch at school, food stamps, Section 8 housing, vouchers for this, that, or the other. It doesn't matter what it was, man. I was poor enough to qualify for it. Whatever. I lived in trailer parks and apartment buildings, and stuff got broken into and stolen, and every single excuse that you have about how life sucked and things were bad, man, it's either happened to me or somebody else, and that person still figured out how to overcome it and rise above it. And so can you. And I believe in you. And I want you to freaking be successful and make your own freaking videos so that I can sit here and be like, dang, I think I'm going to like his video for the YouTube algorithm. Click subscribe. You're welcome. You know, what a nice thing. Don't be down on yourself, man. I'm not mad at you, bro. I'm not mad at you, man. Manuel Felix. Honestly, the whole point of this channel is to reach specifically to people like you. Specifically, I want to find people like you. I just don't want what you believe here in these comments to be what your worldview is after watching my videos. So thank you for giving me the wake-up call that I gotta apparently work harder, because I will. But so should you. Love you, buddy. You be safe out there, be happy, and during the corona pandemic, be healthy.